So it's time for the first Mini F1 sidecar race of today's coverage as the riders get out. It's a much smaller field. We've gone from the sublime in terms of field strength to a much pared back six bike field, and just look at these guys on these tiny little mini sidecars.
Yeah, it's a completely different form of race, I think that's fair to say, but it produces close and intense battles. But Mick Williams and Michael Elms will start the race, the first race of their day, in pole position, and alongside them will be a family duo of Jason and Leo Greenstreet. We've seen some great battles last year. We've seen McWilliams actually get beaten by Jason and Leo Greenstreet as McWilliams' dominance was brought to an end. Mark Parker and Ems starts in third, with Chris and Robert Impey in fourth. Now in fifth position is Vince Bailey and Amy Tilbrook, and the final bike on the grid is Adam Jarvis and Alan. So what a race we have coming up. Completely different form of racing, and I'm sure it's going to be a cracker.
Absolutely, you can see all the work going in from the sidecar rider as well, who will be bearing all of their weight left and right and centre to try and make sure. But we're going and away from the start, and it's bike number 90 getting a great launch, but still being defended successfully by Williams on the inside there in bike number 26, but 90 looking incredibly aggressive and hot on this one. Heads almost touching the tarmac, Lewis.
Yeah, they certainly are. You have to use all your body to be able to get the bike round the corner. Jason and Leo Greenstreet on the number 90. The Greenstreets are in hot pursuit of Mick Williams. Now last year and for many years, Mick Williams has dominated the Mini F1 sidecar class. They are the legends of this class. They've dominated, won every single race.
Wow.
For years and years, until last year, where the Greenstreets managed to take 2 race wins off of them and just shown that potentially they might have the pace. Now further down the field, there is Vince Bailey, and it looks like they're having a strong start. They're a little bit off the pace at the moment, but all these sidecar machines are built in-house. These are not something you can go out and just buy.
Right.
They're something custom built. So potentially some teething problems start of the year, maybe some changes with the bike to get used to. But at the front, Mick Williams is so quick. Absolutely,
Very, very quick, in fact. And it looks like Leo Greenstreet, the most athletic rider here, right across the axle, right almost onto his head, and bearing the weight expertly. Just check that one out. Incredible stuff. Not quite as active looking from the Williams machine, but they've managed to get the nose ahead here. 51.6 the fastest lap, compared with the Greenstreet's 52.6.
Yeah, McWilliams doing what they do best, and that is lead at the front consistently. So Jason and Leo Greenstreet come across the line. A 2.7 second gap between themselves and McWilliams at the front. McWilliams, the first rider to dip into the 49s, and they haven't just dipped into the 49s, they've done a 49 flat. They are just out there having fun. 1.7 seconds faster than Jason and Leo Greenstreet last time around. So McWilliams and Michael Elms doing what they do best and showing what they can do on these Mini F1 sidecars, because as you can appreciate, it's such a small area for 2 riders to sit on.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the rear rider doesn't sit for very long, does he? There's very few straightaways here. We're going down into the final corner here. Oh wow, a real sideways moment coming from the back of the lead car there for a moment. They're still pushing incredibly hard despite the gap they've got. Yeah, despite the gap they've got, that's what they always do. They somehow just have one setting where they can push and push and push, and very rarely do they make a mistake. But of course they are human, they may make a mistake, they might trip themselves up, but there's a battle further back. Vince Bailey is having a fight right now with the Impeys. So who's going to come out in front for 4th position? And it looks like it's going to be a great battle. The Impeys are so aggressive, as are all these sidecars. They are very, very aggressive. Some people would even call them insane. But if it's your first time watching here at FAB, and if you want to get involved in Mini F1 sidecar racing, head over to the FAB-Racing website or message the FAB-Racing Facebook page. I'm sure they'll be happy to help here at FAB. They're very welcome to the riders. And there's Impey having the mechanical issues. As I mentioned, they're all built in-house, and sometimes these things can happen for the 2-stroke motor. Yeah, so that will cause a yellow flag for now. It looks like, as you say, the Impey's just getting the bike back going. I don't know if they'll be able to, but at the moment, in the front of the field, it's still the Williams, and there they go, lapping the field already. Go the Williams pairing. Mick in the front seat, of course, and it's 49.6 their last time across the circuit. And if we thought it was difficult to overtake on a regular bike, it must be doubly difficult on a sidecar.
Yeah, this circuit is so tight and twisted, as we spoke about earlier today, but Michael Elms as well. Whenever these riders are going through the corners, of course the passenger uses the body weight to get the bike turned and to get the bike over. You can see McWilliams even slightly doing it as well, so they are almost like two riders in one. They need to work in sync, and they're managed to do it perfectly. But of course, Mick Williams is on this older style sidecar, and actually has a two-stroke motor inside of it, similar to what you would see in a normal Minimoto. While the Green Streets, they have a four-stroke sidecar and a slightly more modern-looking approach with the fairings, and it means that Mick Williams really has to get that thing at higher revs, which we've seen last year in the wet when he has to keep it in high revs to get power. He couldn't because the rear wheel would just spin up. So Green Streets had that advantage of having that extra torque in the lower range, but right now the gap is 6.5 seconds with 2 laps to go.
Absolutely, it is a very, very dominant display already here from the Williams pairing, and doing incredibly well at the front of the field. Looks like we've got, is that Parker Ems on track at the moment, and a little bit on their own here. Alone on third, but still very much pushing for the podium. Looks like the Impies have properly retired the bike, and we are 1 lap to go, Lewis.
Yeah, 1 lap to go in this race. There is the Green Street, second place. They are still trying everything. They reduced the gap by half a second, actually, from your race leader, but something flew off the back of the Green Street bike there. But it's the last lap. They have to around just one more lap. There is Mick Williams, and there's Mick Williams coming through towards the final corner to take yet again another dominant race win here at Lydd. The brilliant Mick Williams takes the checker flag. Here he comes with Michael Elms. They win once again in the Mini F1 Sidecars. So what a fantastic result that we celebrate, and there's such a cool and collected pairing on the sidecars. You don't see them necessarily running about and punching the air and stuff. They just go out there, have fun, do their business, and then go back to the paddock. Brilliant stuff. Amazing racing there, and I can well imagine that the rear riders are absolutely shattered after that. I know it's only a short one, but they are like leaning and tilting and doing everything possible for the speed of their team. Look at this; they're being brought home by rival teams. Brilliant stuff. That's what you want to see. What are they doing? Towing here at this point? Yeah, they're giving a little push. The sidecar in front has his foot on the front of McWilliams' fairing, so they can get a little push around and they'll just be steering with the handlebars. But that's great to see. That's what FAB-Racing is about. It's here for a bit of fun, and of course on track you're going to battle them, but after the race is finished you're going to help them out. Oh, that's brilliant to see. And another great race here at FAB-Racing at Lydd. That's the Impies being pushed back, and not a lot of training have gone into that position. Yeah, the passenger doing quite a lot of work during the sidecar race, and as you mentioned, as you picked up on nicely, the Leo Green Street really gets head close to the ground. I mean, we've seen a big accident actually last year, I believe at Wilton Mill, where the sidecar actually flipped upside down. But it was a big accident, and they're back, and they're as strong as ever, it appears. Yeah, certainly not shy. Yeah, they're certainly not. So the question is going to be will McWilliams be rival to a race win this year? I think if we get some mixed and some wet conditions, they might just be. Right, yeah, absolutely. Well, that is the penultimate race of our first round, race 2. We've got 2 to go, PB 140s and the MK Mini GP 70s. What's the blue ribbon event here, before we then go and start all over again for this afternoon's racing, race 3s for the weekend for all of our riders. Yep, riders now back into pit lane. You can see actually the Green Street's waiting at that gate, which we've seen Casey O'Gorman use earlier on today to get a quick exit out of the paddock. But MP actually having a little look at their sidecar, just seeing if they can notice anything that's wrong with it straight away. Maybe a quite obvious and visible thing, which would be your hope because then you know at least where to go rather than spending half an hour trying to find a small issue with your motorcycle.
Maybe looking at it while it's hot as well, rather than waiting for it to cool down and then trying to work out the issue, I guess.
Yeah, you can just see how low these things are. They're quite awkward to push for these adults.
Yeah, absolutely. Working very hard. It's been given a rope actually because it's such hard work to push around. But comparing notes, I think across the teams, and there you have it. Then that's a lot more comfortable way to pull your bike and sidecar on the way back to the paddock.
Yeah. So, yeah, it certainly is. But what a race that was, and Mick Williams dominating once again.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Just showing just how a pair of riders working in such unison can completely dominate a field, even on a really short track and relatively short lap race. There's only 7 laps.
So coming up next will be the Mini F1 Sidecars. We go from 2 wheels to 3 wheels. So the Mini F1 Sidecars is back again at race 1. It's exactly what we were expecting to see in a nice dry race, and that was Mick Williams had an incredible pace and a very consistent pace. Very consistent, very calm, very controlled. Nothing like the acrobatics we saw from the green streets on the bike, but clearly Mick Williams and Michael Elms really got it dialed in. And look at this one. There's a new fairing, I think, on the rearmost bike. That looks like the Keats actually making the way onto the grid on a 666 bike with a grey fairing. Yeah, there he is. That's at the back there.
I know we hadn't seen that one before, so we have a larger grid, which is great to see. That's the blue machine there. The sidecar passenger is still pushing incredibly hard. Do they still have to lean just this much just to get around the circuit, even on a cycle lap?
Certainly to get the tyre temperature, it would help a lot more to get the weight transfer, but it certainly looks like the Keats bike. I've definitely seen the 666 on the front of it, a new fairing maybe for them, but it's definitely going to be a new year for them. Keats, of course, racing in the series last year, but here's your grid. Mick Williams on pole position and the green streets in second. Mark Parker and Ems in third, with Chris and Robert Impey in fourth. Vince Bailey and Amy Tilbrook in fifth. And rounding out our grid should be Adam Jarvis and Alan. But of course, there may be more sidecars. It looks like we at least have one more. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what chaos will commence. This will be a race start for the sidecar guys, and the point to the light is done, and we will await to see what happens. The lights are on and the lights are off, and it's going to be green streets. We got a good start, but contact was made there right at the start there. But yeah, Mick Williams leads the way from green street. It stays at users, but MP straight away looks like he's slowing down. Oh, there's the Keats having an issue, and they can't get off the line. So the Keats, with their new bike, with their new fairing at least, looks to have issues as they try to race. Yeah, far from ideal. Obviously a bit of a prototype situation going on. We're back to the action, and we've got some great work here from the rearmost. The Imp is in the brightest livery on the circuit, but it looks to be the Green Streets who are in, I believe, second place at the moment, with the Mick Williams and Michael Elms, who are away. We've got a yellow flag at the moment there, so it's Mick Williams, then the Green Streets. The yellow flag was for the Keats car, the Keats bike that had managed to make the infield slightly there, but we've just got a yellow flag on the track at the moment, Lewis. Yeah, we just do, but no overtaking there. But anyway, Mick Williams at the front, a 51 flat from them. The Green Streets are in second position. Vince Bailey is in third, with Mark Parker and Ems in fourth. Chris and Robert Impey fifth. Adam Jarvis and Alan, his passenger Alan, in 6th position with Keats showing a time screen in 7th at the moment. So Mick Williams, a 51 flat, a 1.6 second gap. It's a pretty good start from him, but there's the closest battle on track at the moment. It's between Vince Bailey and Mark Parker for the final position on the podium.
Yeah, they are they're very, very working very hard here. I was struck by when they started the race how much contact helmets were making with bikes, with the passengers, fully leaning out for the hander as they start the race, and frankly they were already starting to collide with each other, having to wind back in again. But they're really, really tight. This is very, very high peril. As down the inside with some excellent traction there goes the rider pairing, making it, completing an overtake very, very well. I think that was that the Allen, was that Jarvis Allen? No, it's Parker Ems over Bailey for the potential podium here. Not a very long race though, Lewis. So got to get it done quick.
Yeah, you can just see Mark Parker come through the final corner now to power out after making that move on the Baileys. But there we go, the Baileys dropped down to 4th position on the 369 bike. Mick Williams at the front into the 49s. It seems that every single lap he's just dropping his lap time by about half a second. 3.3 seconds separate Mick Williams and Jason and Leo Greenstreet. So what can the Greenstreets do? We spoke about it in race 2, just the differences in not only the riding styles but how they prepare the motorcycles.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So they're all sort of custom hand-built machines, so there'll be big differences between the bikes, but at the moment Mick Williams and Michael Elms have definitely found the sweet spot for this track, at least on this day in history. But at the moment it's the Greenstreets on their own in 2nd place, 3.8 seconds back from Mick Williams as they start lap 4. And this is the 3rd place Parker Ems entry with Bailey, and followed by the Impies.
Yep, so Mick Williams still at the front, 3.3 seconds as you said, and there they are lapping Adam Jarvis and Allen in 6th position. A small but sweet sidecar field. Of course, these bikes are, majority of them are custom built, so you're not going to see many. There's not many going around in general, never mind racing. So majority of them in the country are probably racing right now at FAB, and Mick Williams using his trusty sidecar it's used for years and years, and you can just see it works, so why change it?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't try and fix something that's not broken. It's clearly working, and no one else is able to really challenge. But Greenstreet entry here really got their own sort of gap on the rest of the field as well. They're both. It's just that we're not seeing the front two challenging each other.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, Mick Williams on the 26 is powering out through the 2nd sector towards the right, then the left, then the right, and there is the Greenstreets. It's such an aggressive riding style they've got,
really,
especially Leo Greenstreet. The amount of bravery it takes to stick your helmet almost on the ground. Probably a couple times in a race you've got to scrape your helmet if you're going that low to the ground. 2 laps to go in this race. Mick Williams consistently in the 49. Will it be the 49s this time around? It looks like a good lap to me, but Mick Williams a 50.2, so just outside as they take what is the final lap
through that
flag.
Final corner that I think probably cost them that couple of tenths, but yeah, it's so far so good. I mean, they've just been fantastic today on this sidecar.
Yeah, Sarah have its final lap time. Mick Williams, 1 lap to go in this race on our timing monitor. So can they be challenged? It looks like Jason and Leo Greenstreet are going to struggle to get a 5.2 second gaps away from the masters of Mini F1 Sidecars here at FAB. It's such a fast track. They've been such fast riders. They come through the fast section of the circuit, down the back straight towards the final corner before the checker flag will be waved for them. It's of course Mick Williams and Michael Elms taking the race win and taking the championship lead and extending it even further. So great ride. There's the Greenstreets coming through on the number 90 and through to take their 2nd position. Who will get 3rd? It looks to be Mark Parker and Ems, but we're going to have to wait and see as we see Lee Quells running across the track to get ready for the next race.
It is a long wait, isn't it, for third place to come through. We've got it confirmed on screen before they've actually crossed the line, but it is the Parker M's entry that have managed to complete that third place podium. But it is Mick Williams and Michael Elms securing that win with a tremendous performance yet again here.
Yep, great performance from Mick Williams at the line, 4.9 seconds as you said, and it's been so impressive. Checker flag, you can just see from checker flag actually that the wind is clearly still blowing here at the Lydd kart circuit, so it's
a two-handed situation with that checkered flag, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. They even let it blow in the air. So Mick Williams, race win once again. Going into the race, I think it's fair to say they would be the favourites, but of course there are scenarios this year and it is racing, so anything can happen. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can carry this momentum throughout the season.
That was round one complete then for the sidecar entries at Lydd. Round two coming up tomorrow.